Here, click here. Let's see, I think the streams should be working now. Yes. Great. Okay. I was rushing a bit, so let me put everything into place right now. That is fine. Just gonna put this to the side here. This should let me see every chat as well. Okay. Boom. Let me share the stream link. Streaming Advent of Code 2025 Day 4 in C#. Twitch.tv/mkcss or this on YouTube. So now I can also put this on Twitter. Feels like screaming into the void, but maybe somebody will see it that likes Advent of Code and join the stream as well. So that is Twitter. And let's also drop it onto my Telegram channel, coding. Boom. Okay. That's all the maintenance out of the way. Let's pull this up here. Let me properly resize this so that I know what the view area is. Okay, that is good. Hi Nineberry, welcome, welcome. Did you do today's challenge? I haven't heard anybody talk about if it was difficult or not. I did see somebody make a visualization, so I'm curious to check out what everybody else did in the end. But yeah, let's see. Let me pull up my code as well. Advent of Code 2020. Pull it up here. Okay. Hey Amate, welcome. Nineberry says, very easy today, could do it doing breakfast. Okay, now, let's see. I refactored, by the way, I refactored the code from yesterday a few times. I think I committed it as well to Git. Let me also open up Git just to make sure that I commit in time, because yesterday I started modifying after I completed part 1. So I will try to make sure that I commit before changing the code again. So final revisions, clean up, boom. Actually, I shouldn't have, because I was talking about this optimization here. This is my function that searches this is for part 3 yesterday, that searches the string for the value. And it has an early exit for when you encounter a 9, because you can't get bigger than a 9, so I keep looking for it. After the raid from yesterday, I saw that. I was like, yeah, that's a nice optimization. Somebody said that it didn't hit, so I added something there to count how many times it hit. And now I need to remove it because it shouldn't be here. Like this. So now I have another commit. I keep doing this. Removed early exit counter. Okay, boom. There we go. It turns out it exited early like 300 plus times for the 200 lines. So it did some work, but yeah, it's fractional because the time that it takes to run is negligible. Hey Luke, welcome, welcome. Happy to see you. So yeah, let's do day 4. Let's start reading and see what they have in store for us today. Let's see. You ride the escalator down to the printing department. They're clearly getting ready for Christmas. They have lots of large rolls of paper everywhere, and there's even a massive printer in the corner to handle the really big print jobs. Decorating here will be easy. They can make their own decorations. What you really need is a way to get further into the North Pole base while the elevators are offline. Actually, maybe we can help you with that, one of the elves replies when you ask for help. We're pretty sure there's a cafeteria on the other side of the back wall. If we could break through the wall, you'd be able to keep moving. It's too bad all of our forklifts are so busy moving those big rolls of paper around. If you can optimize the work the forklifts are doing, maybe they would have time to spare to break through the wall. Okay. The rolls of paper @ are arranged in a large grid. The elves even have a helpful diagram, your puzzle input, indicating where everything is located. For example, okay, that's a lot of rolls of paper. The forklifts can only access a roll of paper if there are fewer than 4 rolls of paper in the 8 adjacent positions. Okay. Okay. Surround. Okay. I was thinking like 8. Was it like a ray shot there? Hey JVDL, welcome. Did you manage to do day 4? You said if you weren't able to do it in the morning, you would stream it. So I'm curious to see if we get a stream out of it as well. But the 8 positions is basically a 3x3 and you're in the center, so 9, 3x3 minus 1. JVDL says, oh yeah, this one was probably the easiest one yet. Okay. From reading it, it doesn't seem too easy, but maybe I'm having thunderclouds in my head. I haven't read the problem yet, so let's see. JVDL says, I'm God's strongest grid traverser. Okay. Hey Lakai, welcome. Let's see. The forklift, fewer than 4 rolls of paper in the 8 adjacent positions. If you can figure out which rolls of paper the forklifts can access, they can spend less time looking and more time breaking down the wall to the cafeteria. In this example, there are 13 rolls of paper that can be accessed by forklift, marked with an X. Okay. Consider your complete diagram of the paper roll locations. How many rolls of paper can be accessed by forklift? Okay. This indeed sounds fairly easy, especially since I have all sorts of helpers for parsing a grid. So that is, let's see if it comes in handy. Day 4. We say this is day 4. Let me zoom in so it's easier to read. Day 4, base 4. The reason I do this will make sure that my code grabs the input from Advent of Code without me having to do stuff for it. So. Didn't I grab the... Let's see. This is something that I'm surprised that they didn't fix, right? This is Visual Studio 2026. If I do Ctrl-Shift cursor to the left, I would expect it to break here, because it should be context aware that this is like a multi-line string, so it should be able to do this, but alas, it doesn't. So yeah, let's see, there's no extra things there. And this aligns at the end code for those that don't know it. So there won't be any spaces in front of it. It will align to this side here. So yeah, let me also grab the test input here. It was 13. So test 1 is this. And now I would say we prepare the input. So we do input map. I have helpers using nkcs.aoc. So this should be able to do .map. No? I'm pretty sure I have a map function here, like grid, or do I need to do new grid? Let me quickly look up, because it's been a while since I've done this. Let's see, there should be a map function here. Map all, okay, map. Oh, I need to split the string first. Yeah, I think this one is what I need. So we do input.toLines, map. And we only need to know the @. So let's declare a const for this thing. So we do const char paper marker is this. Okay. We need to map out this. Boom, 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 boom. And I thought I also had something. Did it have something map as grid location? I'm just trying to remember what I did in the past, because I remember that in the past you had lots of these, and I would pass in multiple charts and it would get out a list of all the positions there. But that should be fine. Really wondering, because I've done this more than once. So I wonder how many times I have this thing here, record grid location. That's the downside of not using this code for a year. Because there was one with params, and that would give you... It's weird that I can't remember this. Let's see. This also works. Yeah, that's it. I could just do a paper marker, so like this. But I'm just thinking that I had something. Let me just do var rows is this. Let me first do this. And rows, so we do var paper rolls is this. So this will give me a list, and I can just take the first one here because it's just one. This will give me a hash set of all the grid locations that has a paper roll. Now I can do var grid is new grid, and this one should... Why can't I remember how this works? It's weird. I'm pretty sure, because it has all sorts of things for like the traversal, like get walkable neighbors. So for every position you can get back every direction and easily check it out and then map it against. Because this walkable neighbors here, that would also like block, give you back how many forbidden, and it's not quite what I need here. So I will probably just do it like this. It's fine. I'll just do it like this. Rows is rows.count, length. Columns is rows 0.length, like this. And now this should actually, for every grid location, I will be able to walk it. But since I can't remember this, I think I'm just gonna not do this and just do a little for loop. So for now, let me just map this out so that I have this. We make this accessible to both functions here. So we just do it like that. Boom. And we still need to know the whole thing for the rows and calls. So int row count is... so we still need that data. I will probably offline look at my old code and see how I used it, because I remember it was very useful, but when you can't produce it instantly, it's of no use. So I'll just do some more work now. So we do row count is rows.length, call count is rows 0.length, like this. And now we have all the things parsed and able to do that here. So we do for int row is 0 row smart this exactly, except I like to do it the other way around. For int no, int call is 0 call comma call count, yeah. So let me see. And now we just have to Actually, I don't even need to do this. Never mind. Because basically what I need to do is I can write a helper function and then produce a single link query, or I can just int get surrounding count. This will be the like this, int row int col like this. So for let's see. Now we need to get all the 8 locations. And usually I do this as like a list of offsets. So you would do grid location. Do I have one here? Yeah. And that's why I'm a bit annoyed, because I can't remember how I did it, because this one has all the logic to do that for like all the directions and the combinations of those. So I'm basically having to reinvent the wheel, so that's annoying. So here you have the directional move, but you need also the diagonals for this. I can just copy it for now. Boom, 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 boom. Sure, and then you need to combine those as well, like each permutation of those, because you need up left. I don't have any combinations for those defined, so I could add those here. Up left is up or left. Up right is up right. Down left is like this. Down right, sure. Right. Did I remember this correctly as well? View, other windows, C# interactive, because 8 2 should be 10, right? Yeah. Okay, see, I'm doubting everything right now. Okay, so we have these directions, so let's fill them out. Boom, 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 boom. So up left is actually, that's annoying. I can't self-reference before it's instantiated, but yeah. Because basically what you could do now is, and I can do this just like this. For the constructor here, you could do direction dot up left, comma, and then you do like this. And since this is not a custom type, you can't do it, but if it was a grid location, I actually have the math things for that, so that is nice. I'm making this a lot harder than it has to be, probably, looking at this. So I'll just put them in manually. This, so this will be 1, 1, 1, minus 1, minus 1, 1, right? Sure. Now you would do for each path there in keys, like this. Actually, we could just do it like this and then have a key and value component, which is fine. So int count is 0. Int exit off. So we can stop after a certain amount, which is fine. So now we can do if paper rolls contains, and this one becomes row plus dir dot value dot row, call plus dir dot value call, like this, and then we do increment count. Come on, and do if. Actually, we can do it like this. So basically we can just pass 4 here so that we don't stop. Let's see. Up, left is yeah. So basically this should do the counting. So now I can do P1 is get surrounding count, paper rolls, and I need to traverse the whole grid, which is annoying, but that's fine, and that's why I do this. No, actually, I can do P1 is paper rolls dot where what did I name it? Get surrounding count. Okay, I can call it roll paper rolls. Column 4, smaller than 4, like this. No, count. So basically not where, but just a count. Count, like this. Const int max surrounding rolls is 4. Let's give it some proper names. Okay, let's make sure that we run day 4. And let's see if the test works. Nope. I get 14 when the answer should be 13. That's interesting. Okay. So now we do it differently. We do for each var roll in paper rolls. Dictionary of grid location int counts is this. Int count is this. Okay. Why doesn't it like this? Okay, I just need to remove this part. Okay, now I can do count, so add roll, and then, okay, not sure what I'm do that. Count, okay, and after this I can do count a print map. I have a function to print a sparse map like that. Print. What does build map do here? Okay, Don't I have something like print? No. Grid print. Print path. Sure, not quite what I need. It's so weird because I can clearly remember writing all of that stuff last year. So I wonder if I threw away some of that. Like, okay. This explains it. I have a custom grid in the 2024 thing that probably has all the functions that I was looking for. Go over to the neighbors. Move, right, left, down, up. Sure. Walk. Walk to next junction. Print path. That's not quite. I had a thing to follow. Grid location is inbound. Right, because this one would let me feed it. Say, yeah. Walkable count, neighbor count, Manhattan distance, wrap. Man, I wrote so much code. And then you get all the operators here as well. Apparently nothing to print it out. Okay, we will just write one. So now we do this, but then to print it, console right line. Actually, we don't need to feed it anything. So we do console right. And in this case, actually, we need to know count. So try get value, throw call out int count c dot toString period like this. Should probably be the same here. So this would at least print us out in the map. Let's see. So I should probably do an X for when it's maybe just make it clearer. Let's see, and then do like this. C smaller than max. And we do it like this so that I can at least spot the difference compared to the to the output here. And then I should probably, after that, see which one it counts when it shouldn't. And it's actually this one that it counts. So it says, is there a shift somewhere? So it says this one is an X here. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this one has actually a 3 by 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So that's interesting. And this one, it also reports while... Okay, so there's probably a bug in my look around thing. Because it didn't count this one. this one is actually wrong. This should be -1, -1. So is that the mistake there? Yep. I think Amate called it. I had a bug in the up left because I did it by hand and I didn't combine them. So that's why you try to not do it by hand. Okay, so that's fine. So it works for that one there. So I can comment out all of these. And it's usually something stupid like that, always. That's why I wrote all the code beforehand to do all the traversal and walking. And so I will probably spend some time later to see what I did wrong there. Let's run the real answer and get the first gold star, hopefully. So P1 is this value. Woohoo! Okay, that's at least part 1 in the bag. Boom. Huh. At least the idea was correct. I just had the wrong the wrong value for the traversal there. Let me record the actual answer for P1 in here. Okay. Let me remember to commit it before I change it again. Day for P1. Boom. Recorded for posterity. Let's go back to the test case. Continue to part 2. Let's see. Now the elves just need help accessing as much of the paper as they can. Once a roll of paper can be accessed by forklifts, it can be removed. Once a roll of paper is removed, the forklift might be able to access more rolls of paper, which they might also be able to remove. How many total rolls of paper could the elves remove if they keep repeating this process? Starting with the same example as above, there's one way you could remove as many rolls of paper as possible. Using highlighted add to indicate that a roll of paper is about to be removed and using X to indicate that a roll of paper was just removed. Okay. So this is just an iterative job. Stop once no more rolls of paper are accessible by a forklift. In this example, a total of 43 rolls of paper can be removed. Start with your original diagram. How many rolls of paper in total can be removed by the elves and their forklifts? Okay, so now we can do something cool. Remember when I made the map that showed the counts? What if we do a first pass that records those counts for everyone? Then enumerate all the ones that have 3 or less in them. And then instead of just removing it, also update all the surrounding counts every time we remove them. Because basically every position it touches, if it exists, it gets 1 less neighbor, right? So I think that would be the solution for part 2, which is basically what I already wrote here. Let's see. This can be a global constant because it's true for everything. So let's do that. The first thing here. Okay. Int remove it. Do while remove larger than 0. Boom. Remove is 0. Okay. Okay, so now for each var role in actually in counts, if role value smaller than max surrounding roles. Okay. We remove it. Okay, and I need to actually like this, because we will modify this and we don't want to actually I can do it differently. That's fine. We can do list grid location to remove this. So we do to remove dot add role dot key, and here we do for each var role in to remove counts of remove role, like this. I wonder if this because I can also like cascade check right away. So now we can do what did I call the directions? Yeah. So here we do for each var like this. If counts the try get value, and this would be role dot key plus neighbor. Out and count like this. Wait, directional move dot value, sorry, like this. Pretty sure that I wrote something to support this, right? I should probably verify, but I think this works. If and count, save it here. Welcome to the stream, save it here. And welcome Nostalgia Pigeon on YouTube. Nice to see new people back here. So we're doing Advent of Code Day 4. We're doing part 2 right now. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in chat and I'll try to address them when I see it. Currently trying to implement part 2. So my thinking was to record all the counts for every role and then process all of them and immediately update all the neighbors and remove them as well if they need to be removed. And I think I can do this. If contains role continue, because continue, because we might remove some of them while we do here when we do a cascade check. So if this is smaller or equal to max surrounding roles, to remove dot add, and this will be the neighbor dot key. I should probably have defined this as grid locations, but that is fine. Isn't this? No, it's a value dot. Actually, it's the combined. I need to do it like this. Grid location. This. I can do an location, and here I can do this. Okay. Else we do counts and location. Oh, yeah, and location equals and count minus 1. So for every neighbor, if we remove one from their counts as well, and we check if we can remove them here as well. So that should do that. And we keep doing this until we have removed stuff. So if we do this one, we increment to remove. And let's also do this here, just for clarity. And we can console, right line. Removed roles in this pass. We can do removed, that is our count. JVDL says, I just know Dijkstra's waiting around the corner somewhere. I hope Eric is merciful and waits until the weekend for that one. Dijkstra isn't that hard once you've done it once or twice, but it's it takes like the concept is not that difficult, but it can be a bit daunting if you haven't done it before. But I'm sure that if you read up on it and see it done a few times, that it won't look as scary. I have to go back to the algorithms Wikipedia page. Yeah, okay. I have that with my own code. I wrote so many helpers, and I'm still writing out the same thing every year. So yeah, maybe that's even worse than not remembering the algorithm. But yeah, I'd always do my own variation anyways of just abusing a priority queue. But where was I? Let's see. I have this one. It will remove. It will reset. I think this is fine. Yeah, I think this is fine. Same, I don't have fun with import solution. Yeah, let's see. Did I put in the part 2 answer, test answer here? No, I didn't. So let me just say 43 is the answer for the test input. So let's see if my code works, or if it runs in an infinite loop, because I forgot something, you never know. Okay, it didn't work. It said 0. Ah, because I forgot to update P2. Let's see what the code actually did. So it removed 39 in the first pass and then 0 in the second pass. Okay, so the answer is incorrect. That's funny. That is a shame. It did something. It got to 39, but now we have to figure out why it didn't do it as properly. So probably what I should do now is remove this part where I try to optimize it before even having solved it the first time, and then see how it does. And it will probably just spit out which ones it will remove. But yeah, okay, let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, let's just do that now. So I can do this, remove this part, and just say console.writeLine, line, removed, and this will be role.key. So if I run it like this, at least we will get, it did one pass only. That's interesting. That's interesting. Wait, what? Hmm. I mean, the first one is correct because that's 13. So why doesn't it work run again? Because the first time it should do 13. The second time, why doesn't it run the second time? That's interesting. Huh. Okay. I'm curious, like the first time it says it removed 13, so that is fine. We remove all of them. Remove that, okay. To remove is a new list. The counts are now, sure. I don't update the counts, sure. So since I didn't do the removing stuff, Save It Here says, well, R is some cool stuff. I had one statistics class and we used R, very fun. Yeah, that's, is that in Ruby as well? It's been a while since I've heard R. So what I can do now is just reset after this is done. Joe said, I hate both, to be honest, soul crushing stuff. Yeah. To each their own. Wait, before I do this, I probably still need to do this, but not actually. Let me just make sure that this location thing is correct for the math here. And I only do this. Wait, let me run this like this. It should at least, so it did 13, and then the second one it did 71 rolls. Okay, so there is clearly something wrong. That's weird. Are there even... Okay, it did all of them. That's interesting. You already have the right solution with P1. Yeah, but I just... I know, but I want to do it in this way. I know that I can just do this and then remove all of them, all the ones that match, and then run it, just run it again. But I'm stubborn and I want to do it a different way. I'm just trying to figure out what's going wrong here. So let me just make sure that I check this. So this is 0, 2, plus minus 1, 0. So this one be, yeah, okay. So this isn't a valid location, so that is fine. Because we start at, which one is this? 2,3, sure. And these were all the moves that were valid, right? These are all the surrounding locations. And all these counts. Okay, I made a boo-boo here. Yep, I'm an... let me explain quickly and undo this. Because what I did was, remember that I had an early exit logic thing here that said, well, okay, you only need to look for this amount. I need to make sure this is actually higher than 4, because it will remove too many. Oh, it will remove too many of them. Because the counts here were 4 in places where they shouldn't have been. Save it here. If it wasn't 2 a.m., it would help you debug. Yeah, thanks. Nah, I'll be fine, man. I'll be fine. So now what do we get? Now we get 0. Nice. Let me just... Whoop. Let me just run it the way that I had it before, just to make sure that I didn't kill something. P0. Oh yeah, I never did it here. 13 and 27 and then 0. And how many did I need to do? 43. So I get to 40. So that's progress. So I probably need to make sure that I do it in the way they do it there, and just update the counts and not remove it. If I don't do this, let's see, if I don't do this, yeah, it should do more passes, right? So it does 13, then 30, then 9 and 4. Wait, why do I have it different? Now it works. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Let me see. Why does it work now? That's weird. That's really weird. Every time this, so I need to do P2 plus equals this. So if I run it now, it will run to completion and it will be okay. See, okay, it works. So there was a bug in my logic where I tried to why does my shortcut here not work? Because basically I say, if this one is 4 or less, means it gets reduced by 1 at least, because this one is removed, right? Why does that become a problem? I'm not sure what you're trying to share there, Luke. Let me see if I can... Is it safe? Nope. Let's see. It mangles it completely. Drop it in Discord if you can, because Twitch chat isn't... Yeah, this is applicable for sure. Yeah, code doesn't work. Why? The code works. Why? Yeah. But that's also like one of the things that I can't let go. JVS is just checking. It should be smaller than 4, not 4. What is your value for max surrounding rolls? Max surrounding rolls is 4. That's this part here. And the logic here is basically I have a roll that I want to remove because it's lower than the max surrounding rolls. So this one has a value of 3 or lower. Then if I remove this one, that means that everything that's directly adjacent to it gets their counts reduced by 1, right? So MS Paint. I love MS Paint. Basically, if I have like, and I can probably make this one bigger. That is fine, but isn't there a diameter thing normally? No. who cares? So let's say I have one thing here, and there's a thing here, and a thing here, and a thing here, and a thing here. Let's say this one. So if we want to remove this one, it had 1, 2, 3, 4 surrounding. So let's say this is a really bad example. Okay, let me just go here. But the thing is, as soon as, let's say this one doesn't exist. Boom. So this one has 3. So we can remove this one. As soon as this one gets removed, that means that the count for this one, and for this one, and for this one goes down by 1, right? So when these surrounding ones go down, if they go below 4, they can remove them. So that means if their current value is 4 or less, it becomes 1 less, so 4 becomes 3, etc. By removing this one is reduced by 1 and should be removed. Are you double removing the same cell? No, I'm not. There is a list of counts here. The ones that I remove get tracked here to remove, and I check before I process it if the one that I'm trying to check has already been removed. So I do a pass once to get all the values. Then when I remove one, I remove 1 from the count for every item. That's what I do here. And the added logic was that if the one that I'm checking is already at the threshold, we know 1 will be removed. So instead of removing 1, I just remove the whole location because it goes to 3 now, right? It was already lower, or it goes to 3, so I can remove it. So I add it to the list of things to remove. And then I... You have a point, yeah. I need to do the same check here, actually. Right. I think. Yes. And not to remove contains and location. This might actually be it. Nope. Interesting. Black Guy says, but if you remove neighbors in the same go, you need to recursively check neighbors of neighbors. Yeah, but the only thing that I do is to make sure that if their count gets reduced below the threshold, I don't have to recheck, because by removing something, I know that I will impact everything surrounding that one instantly, right? So everyone surrounding the one that's removed get their counts automatically reduced by 1 if they exist. And if they fall below the threshold, you can remove them as well. So I'm not sure why this would be an issue. And the answer would be higher, not lower. So that's the thing that stumps me a bit. So we know that the code, like, if it runs like this, see that this whole thing has 0 impact on it. Like, I can run it without this, and it will be fine, because it will reduce and then check again. So the whole issue is that I check if the value that I get from here, it's so weird. Why is it an issue to remove something here extra? That's what I don't understand at this time, because let me see, I can just do bloop. I don't need to write it out. me just close it so there's no cache. So we do a pass, remove 30, then 9, 4, 0. That's also different than how this one works, which is funny. So I already do it differently. Like I said, but if you remove neighbors in the same go, you need to no, actually, no, that's what I said. That's not. No, actually, you are correct in the way. Yeah, actually, the point that you said is correct. Sorry, my bad. Because removing this one also impacts the others. Yeah, that's actually the issue. Sorry. You were right. I didn't notice that you were right. My bad. So what I should do is make this a function. So I should do void remove remove role role. Boom. I can do it like this. It's fine. Like this, okay? So basically what we need to do is this logic needs to happen for each line. Like this, grid location is this, and then we need to do this. And then we need to call remove role and location here as well. So you need to recursively call itself. So you need to move role as this. Otherwise, you can't call itself. It's a bit weird. Let me think. We actually want to turn this into a function. Because int remove is 0. Like this. We increment remove count. We do the plus equals this. So we should probably also just make sure it does this part here, actually, like this. So this becomes 1. And this can be location, pattern like that. And then we do return remove count like this, right? And we need to make sure that we don't double count it here. So that's also true if contains and location continue, like this. Return 0. Something like this, I think. So now this one becomes, let me just remove this. and make sure to throw it away once it works, but this would mean remove roll dot key, I think. Alright, so let's see if this works. So now we do remove plus equals this. 25. Oh, still not correct. And this one is also this one will come from this one actually, so that would be the wrong count there, notwithstanding that it's still the wrong answer. So now it does 11. Nice. Why is this so hard for me to understand? Let me see. What am I missing here? If to remove container. Okay, now for now, let's just forget about this. Let's go back to the working code. So we don't do this. Okay. Let's get the second gold star and then worry about it later. Woohoo! Second gold star. Not really happy, but at least I got the gold star. AOC. Boom. Done. Now I just really wonder why my code doesn't work. Save it here says, yay, yeah, yay, but I'm really unhappy actually, because I hate that I couldn't figure out what was wrong there. Part 2 working, day 4, part 2 working but unhappy. Boom. Okay, so we have that one done. And now I'm just really frustrated because I don't know what's wrong with that part actually. Okay, that's not what I wanted. I need to go back and get the answer that I submitted. Yes, because I need to fill in the test. Let's go back to the test case. And now I just really want to know why. What am I doing wrong here? I can remove this, all of this, because it's not needed here. This was fine for part 1. Actually, I can just do this. Boom, that's part 1. I really like my small inline check here. And I really wonder what's wrong with the logic to just try and remove and update all the neighbors. Because I made a recursive function that does that, but why doesn't it work? So this is working. Oh, this is working. This isn't. But in my mind, this should work. And I don't know why. And I wonder if it's possible to step through it to see what happens. And I'm just gonna do it once just to see what happens. Actually, before I step through it, I just want to see how many it did, just 11. So it doesn't, when I do this logic, it doesn't even remove all of the, it doesn't even remove the 13 that we get from part 1 normally, which is really weird. So let me see what's happening here. It does update it, right? Am I wrong there? So it starts a remove count at 1. It gets the current location, 02. The smaller or equal, no, that's not it. Like, at least, unless I'm missing something. The idea is every surrounding one will get their numbers reduced. So if they are 4 or less, they will become 3 or less, right? Because if they start at 4 or less, they will become 3 or less, thus be within the range. So every neighbor of the one that we remove will get one of their counts reduced because the thing itself has left. So what we do is, if they are at the threshold or below it, in fairness, they should probably never be below it, but we might remove something that gets an early, that we would process later on anyways. So if they are at 4 or less, they would become 3 or less, thus be allowed to be removed. Because we calculated all the individual counts as is, right? That's what I tried to, I think that's what I did in the MS Paint here. Like if we remove this one, the count of this one, and this one goes down by 1 because this one is removed. So if this one is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if this one is removed, it goes to 4. So, but 5 is not equal to 4. So if this one, it has 3, let's say this one here, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 currently. If you remove this one and this one's count is at 4, you can remove it because it will go down to 3 because of it, right? This is the same as doing this, right? What I can do here is this. I can do minus m count, and I can do this, and if I then do the code like this, like it's the equivalent value, right? The black guy says, I'm wondering if you should only check equals to 4 because you shouldn't reach smaller than 4. That's not quite true, because in this case, this neighbor only had 3 of them, but we haven't gotten to this one yet. So if we reduce this one, it will be at 3, and then we reduce it to 2. So we already just removed this one, right? It's just early removal, and we skip it later on in the other loop. So the smaller than or equal is, the logic is sound, as far as I can tell. I wouldn't know why this one would ever be a problem, except it is. So in my mind, this is the same as doing this. We reduce the count that we got. It's just that, like, this whole part is not needed if we're going to remove it anyway. That's why I short-circuited like this. Like, okay, if the thing that we're looking at should be removed because of its count, its new count, just remove it and don't even bother updating it, right? It gets added to, let's see, save there. While removing a cell, if a neighbor is smaller or equal to 4, that neighbor is safe to remove. Yes, exactly. I can, let me just run this equivalent code, and it shouldn't produce a different output. See that it does anyways, but yeah. Okay, see, it's still the same. So if this is the logic that you're expecting, you can verify now that it does the same as here, right? So we can go back to just this. So the issue lies somewhere in, It just I can't see what the issue is. That's a bit of just a problem here. Because we added to like the thing that we do is we added to the to remove thing here in advance before taking action. That makes sure that we don't do stuff double. Yeah. So I'm going to step through it once and just see what happens and why it doesn't work. So. I should probably make a visualization of this, but let's see. It should never contain this, and this location thing should be right. Save this says, could it be that you're calling remove role before the actual removing happens? No, that the to remove thing happens here in this one. And then after the full loop, they are removed from the original counts thing that it updated. But okay, so here we have one with count 3 already. So this one is like if you go back to the original test input, we were checking this one, and this one has 1, 2, 3. Right, and now we are checking this one, and this only has 1, 2, 3 as well. So we're removing this already before we hit it. So now it says it's 3, that's smaller than 4, equal to 4. So now we add this location as well to our to remove list. And we, oh wait, yep. Yep. Yeah, that's an issue there. And that means it doesn't actually do the recursion, so I need to do that. So what is the proper way to do this? Because we don't want to... oh yeah, because I shouldn't do this here, because this thing actually take care of this here already. So that is my issue. I was trying to be too safe. And now it worked. Dang it. So the code was correct, everything was correct. The only thing that I did here was I added it to remove too early, because that logic happens here. Okay, so I was a bit crazy, but I was like, this logic, I don't see a flaw in it, except that I added the prevention there too early. Okay, it's always stupid stuff like this, right? And actually, so the thing is, and that's also logic, it can do everything in one pass because it just cascades. So it should be able, the ripple effect, it should always be able to do it in one pass, because everything it touches gets updated, and everything it doesn't touch is not affected. So everything you can't do the first time, you won't be able to do a second time, because it ripples. So there should always only need to be one pass. So let me put that to the test as well. Make sure that I'm not talking out of my behind. See, yeah. So with this logic, it will just do one pass basically, because if it doesn't touch it, it cannot change, right? So I don't need the whole while loop, because we will check everything at least once. If it changes, it will update all its neighbors, and anything it doesn't update, it will never go below the threshold, so you don't even have to check it again. JVDL says, I'm off for now, have a good one. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for sticking it out while I lose my mind trying to debug what I did wrong. So yeah. Thanks. It was nice to have you here. So yeah, let me clean this up. Boom, 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 boom. This one doesn't need to be a do loop anymore, actually. But let me, before I do anything, let me commit it before I clean it up further and mess something up. Clean up code and fix recursion solution. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Like that. Now I'm happy. Now I'm happy. So yeah, let's see. We can now refactor this a bit more because we don't need a while loop anymore. And we can actually not even use removed and just do it directly on P2. This to remove, well, I can actually just call this removed because we don't need to actually remove it as well. Boom. No, we need to do that once. This one becomes P2. Like this. Boom. Like this. Remove count, that's fine there. So yeah, we process each roll. We skip the ones that we already processed. Let's see. Marta says, could you time it? This looks like it may be a faster solution. Yeah, probably. Let me add some benchmarking and we'll do that now. That's fine. Do I need to clean up anything else? Oh, this is fine. I probably need, what I could do to make this faster is have an overload without the exit after. So it just does this. So I can remove this and skip an if check there. Just have a version that doesn't check if it needs to exit because it needs to do an extra count. So that will be more optimized. Pretty sure I need to do this to get, yeah. This is something that I never understood, right? If you want to have an inline function. Hey, Plus Mid, welcome. Welcome for the raid. Hello, raiders. I was just finishing up and cleaning up my code. How did you do your day? How was your day 4? I was just going over the solution that I had. This is my day 4. I can quickly show it. This is the test input. I declared the map character. I used one of my mapping functions from previous years to, let me see where I have it here. So I split the input to lines, I count the dimensions of the grid, and then I use my map as grid locations function to map them out. Plusmid said solution took 3.6 milliseconds in the end. Ah, nice. I will time it in a bit. I'll have to go install benchmark.net, but I will do that in a bit now. And then recorded all the directional moves that you can make. I made a function to get the surrounding counts. This one is for port 1. It exits after it finds 4 because we don't need to know it actually. Save it here says you can do int remove roll grid location lock. What do you mean? Yeah, I can. Let's see. You can do int. Can I do that? That would make it a local function, right? I think. Remove roll grid location. Roll like this. No, location. Yeah, that would make it a local function. So I should probably declare this at the end then, but good call. I never do local functions, I always forget about them. So that's a C# thing that they added recently, but it looks cleaner than the inline function. What was I talking about? I don't even remember. Let's see. Oh yeah, I made a function that basically for part 2, what it does, it checks all the locations. So I've mapped out all the locations that have a paper roll. Then I enumerate those locations. And then for each one of them, I check if they are below the threshold. And if they are below the threshold, I will call this removal function. And I made this really nice MS Paint thing that basically what it does is it takes this one, and if we remove it, we update the counts of every surrounding one of them. And if they are at or below the threshold, we will remove them as well and cascade. So we don't do any loops, we just do it once and then have like a flood fill kind of thing that it reacts to everything surrounding it. So let me do I have benchmark.net in the solution already? Manage NuGet. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask, right? Let's see, manage NuGet for solutions. Do I have benchmark.net installed? Yes. I have it in 2023, so let's install it here. Just 5 million dependencies, that's fine. And I probably need the annotations as well. Okay, that's fine. So let me see, how did it work? Because I don't remember actually. Boom, 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 benchmark.net. Okay, we'll figure that out in a bit. Let's see. Day 4. I think there is usually something that you can decorate the class with let me see, benchmark.net how to, because I can't remember. I can just put a benchmark function in there. So I can do benchmark. I probably need some warm-up things as well. All right, so do I have something in here? Interesting. Not sure why I did this, but let me just add them here just for fun. How do I run it again? I don't even remember. If somebody remembers, let me know. How do you call it? Does anybody remember how to run benchmark.net? Release. Okay. I refuse to to benchmark my code. Yeah. Let's see. I can do view. Yeah, but Mark, they asked to time it so that she knows how he knows how fast it is. Other one terminal. CD. Nope, that's not it. Advent of code. Am I blind? Isn't there a folder called AOC 2020? 2020. Where do I even have my open in File Explorer? This one is in the root. Okay, makes sense. Okay, getting there. Let's see, what is the error? Benchmark cannot be found a user. Okay. Let's see. Plusmid said it took 200 milliseconds on my quantum computer. Yeah. Let's see. Why is it complaining? That's weird. And now it doesn't have an error. Okay, let's see. Okay, and now I need to make sure that I dump my session text. Come on, Explore, File Explorer. So I have my debug.NET 10 session, this one. So it wants it in the root here. I'm fine with that for now. Okay, that still doesn't print benchmark. Okay. Benchmark. Why? Nobody here who knows benchmark.net? Let me Google a bit. How do I show the benchmark times for benchmark.net? Okay. Yeah, just hurry up. Ah, I need a benchmark runner. Okay. Fine. Okay. That makes sense. So I can just do this. And this will be day 4. And I probably need to, do this in release mode. Sure. Release. Debug. Debug. Start without debugging. And now it will have the thing in a different folder, so it needs the session file again, probably. So it will be in a different folder, which is great. I actually wonder, boom. So let's see. That's the downside of doing this once a year. You forget how to do everything. Bin release .NET 10. This will need the session file as well. So let me just yoink it in there. Let's see if that helps. And if not, and I shouldn't do this with the debugger attached because it will be mad at me. Sure, debug, start without debugging. Plus Mid says, my chat suggested Hyperfine to benchmark it. Hyperfine, not familiar with that. Hyperfine. Command line benchmarking tool. Subverter. Okay. Could not find this. Yeah, benchmark.net. I'm pretty sure, don't I have like, I should have this in my old thing, and it should also have something that will make sure that it takes the session thing into account as well. I would say so, but hey Richard, welcome. I did Advent of Code day 4 already. The code is in the GitHub. I should probably maybe just first look at what everybody else did, and for those that want to share their code as well, you can let me bring up my. So this is the Discord link for those that want to share their code for me to look at. Let's first look at what everybody else did before I go further into the benchmarking thing, because it's not going that well. Let's see. Who was the first? I think Amadeo was the first with the code. Let's bring it up and look at what they did. Boom. Blow it up a bit so that everybody can read it. Let's see. Day one. Adjacent buffer. Okay. Map count. ABC. Okay. Okay, so they wrote a map helper. I basically checked everywhere where the count is less than 4. That makes sense. Let's see. And they also made a visualizer that we should see. T. Kirkus says, Hyperfine is a good tool. I like that I can choose to either have a warm cache and branch prediction or completely cold one and set the number of rounds. Okay, I will give it a look after I've checked everybody else's code. I don't want to make everybody wait too long while I mess about. Or maybe I'll do the benchmarking stuff without the stream tomorrow when I have some more time, and then incorporate it tomorrow. Let's see. They want okay. We'll check the visualization. I think it's here. Let's bring that one up as well. It's always nice to see somebody make a visualizer. Luke says you don't have more time tomorrow. Yeah. I never have more time, I know. It looks like a minifigure. It's always nice to see visualizations for stuff like this. I actually once started a whole Unity project to, and it was for, I think, scanning for trees or something. And I did like a whole security terminal monitor with 200 screens, and I wrote a shader for it and stuff. I never finished it, of course, but it's really fun. It always makes me think like, this would be cool to visualize. Yeah, nice. Let's get back to the code for now. But this basically is part 1 and just iteratively running that, as far as I can tell. Savitar says, haha, last year's AOC Christmas tree Easter egg. Yes, that was the one. And I think I have it on my other computer. Maybe I can still find it, but I don't know which machine has the Unity project still on it, if it exists. I built like a whole console, and like it was such a pain in the behind to get it working. But I basically wanted to use my code to like visualize everything, and that you could see like on which monitor it would come by. So you would have like an elf there staring at like 200 tiny screens, and yeah, it was a fun idea, but I didn't finish it. Let's see, accessible count, because this is basically, yeah, sure, this is basically a recursive function of that. What is this? For sweeps is 0. Was occupied other flag. If it was other flag, set unsafe. Okay. Return false. So that return false. So this updates that. Okay. In part 2, I tried to use flags and maps instead of 2 maps and copy. Okay. And this is the visualization thing. Yeah. Okay. See, I might have over-engineered my solution. Okay. Let's see what Luke did. I just added to my file here to get syntax highlighting to make it easier to read. Let's see. Build test as follows. Part 1. Map or map key buren. So this is a neighbor function that basically, let's see, Yeah, this is the same thing like my list of things, right? Sure. Yeah. Basically a link function using the offsets, and part two is a do loop. Okay. Yeah. Decode grid. Oh, what's happening? I got a heart and I don't remember that happening before. uh, my first one-liner. Okay. Let me see. Ah, a follower. Thanks for the follow. See, I'm like it's been a year since our last stream. I don't even remember the overlays that I have said, etc. So yeah, thanks Maru for following and yeah. So let's see. This was Luke's code. This is the mapping of the @ sign, and this is a location struct for that. Okay, pretty straightforward and basically the same solution there. Let's see who else. This was, in his own words, the over-engineered solution. So let's see what they did. Python. Okay, let's see. We split the grid, rows and column counts. If I is more equal to. Oh, this is a bound check, sure. It took me a while to have the reverse order there. So basically, this is a bound check to make sure that what we're requesting is inside of the bounds of the grid. Neighbor count ends for the and I. So basically, you try every one of those, and you skip the center. Like I saw this yesterday as well, where I did something like a bit over engineer probably to calculate like how can something be devised, and then if you do that division, how many parts would that yield, so that it can get a unique count of how many repeated patterns I have to check for. What they did was just loop through all the digits, and if they don't align, skip it. And that's basically what they did here. So you have like your row and column options like -1, center, and one off. You do all of these, so you get the 9 combinations. There's one that's invalid where you target yourself, which is basically this, and you skip it. So yeah, the benefit of this is that it reads a lot cleaner sometimes than having large complete pieces of logic. So sometimes I wonder, like, should I just make the code dumber? I'm not calling this dumb, but trying to be less smart to make it even more readable and easy to follow. So yeah. So this checks if it has that. Yeah, it's basically account for the neighbor, find range. Yeah, sure, makes sense. What did they do for part B? Let's see. The same things here. Let's see, what does the answer that append? Okay. Not sure that I follow what is happening here. Let's see. Neighbor count is that. And then you track that. Sure. So record the count for the position. So basically this would be the first mapping. Why the heap push here? So this is like a job queue, so that you have just a list. That's the coffee machine turning off. Sorry for the noise in the background. So this is basically just a job queue for everything that you want to check. Um, So they only check the latest. Okay. I wonder what this does. Because this. I'm not sure how this works. Because save it here says the first in the priority queue has less than 4 neighbors. How is this a priority queue? Oh yeah, but because it's indexed by, yeah, sure. But if the first key would be count 0, isn't the key here this part? No, wait. So it adds these. How is this indexed? Because it looks like it adds a tuple here, right? And then it has a multi-dimensional or a nested array here. Is it in reverse order or something? So what would this be? So I'm just not familiar with this syntax, so I don't understand what it's actually what's stored here. So I can heap 0 is the first item, heap 0 is the neighbor count. Okay. Okay, so sure. But how would it be a priority queue? Where does it know how to sort? Is it always based on the first value then, or something? I'm just not familiar with this, I'm afraid. I might be missing something, but let's not dwell on it too much. That's just me not knowing this syntax. Let's see, I'm gonna work late today, might be to catch a stream, because, yeah. So thanks for everybody, by the way, for checking me out. It's always nice to see something like this, that they apparently like to see me struggle enough to be up at 1:30 in the evening. So thanks for that. Let's see, streaming. And it's 3 a.m. Wow. Oh, it's your code. Okay. You have to, if you want, you can, in the Discord, try to teach me more. Because I like to understand, but I'm having a rough time comprehending it, and I don't want to let everybody wait till the penny drops, right? Oh man, 3 a.m. Well, it's really appreciated that you hang out with me at this time, so thanks for that. Whose code was this? B. Are you in chat right now, B? Let's see. Parse input. Ah, yeah, this was the F sharp. Yeah. Let's see. Maxwell, sure. Mapping of the dimensions, grid to the inlet length. Sure, this is just mapping into a grid. Get neighbors. This is the same dimensional thing. List filter. Bounce checking. Sure. This will return every one of these that don't exceed the bounds, so that's fine. Count removes to delete q and int. Map I, okay. This is another one where I'm a bit slow. Like reading functional code is hard for me, but I really like looking at it. So that's my problem. I use the queue. Okay. Yep, I can see here. Boom, 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 boom. If values put, then okay. Accessible neighbors. This will use the get neighbors function, the length. Okay, so this one will count just how many there are. If it's smaller than the threshold, and queue it for deletion, etc. Okay, Was this part 2? Ah, yeah, I'm looking at part 2. Let's see. Mutable remove 0, delete counts 0, sure. Okay, what's happening here? Transforms, because -1 would mean it's the period here, right? Yeah. So we skip the periods. If it's not a period, removed. Okay, this processes all the deleted ones. How could this trigger? Because if to delete is something that you want to process, it should have already been. This is an impossibility, right? Just to be safe, or increment the removed. You now clear it. Ah, this is a dupe check so that you don't process it twice because you update the grid here. So if you have already processed it before, then this would happen. Sure. Get neighbors. You do it again. Sure. Okay. Is there recursion here? What was this one called? Count removes. Count transformed. Okay. So this just does it once, right? You take everything that you want to delete and then you check the neighbors and process those as well. There's no recursion needed with the queue. Ah, okay. Ah, yeah, true. Never mind. Yeah, you're right. Like that's a way to. I think it's because it's late, but yeah, that's a way to go around. To work around recursion is to just build it into a queue. Yep. Like that's what usually what you do when you get into Stack Overflow depths. You just rework it into a queue. Okay. And you reuse the one from part 1. Can you share the actually, I don't know. Yeah, that would be a starting position. I could do that in my code to take the result of part 1 and then not do the work twice again. So yeah, let's see. It's in the other file if you want to check. Yeah, we just check this one first. Dun, 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 dun. Make a sparse grid, basically, right? Point is valid. Oh, okay. Not even the is valid function checks adjacent roles. Sure. Crazy Wolf says, I feel pretty lazy now after seeing you guys all optimize that much in day 4. Yeah. Well, I liked mine. I still haven't benchmarked it yet, but I like the way that I solve it to just ripple out. I'm always proud when I come up with an idea that I don't see other people do, so that is, I like that. I also use a queue here. Okay. This is basically the same as the Python code, like you just take all of them and you skip the one that you don't need to do, so then a bounce check, and yeah, nice. Okay, I think we've seen all of them. Now I want to make sure that I can actually try to run this, and the thing with benchmark.net is that it creates a new folder, which is annoying because it doesn't copy that into the output so that it can work. Or I wonder, does it... no. Yeah, I should not do this on stream. It will probably take too much time. I can just add a stopwatch for now and just kill this and do that some other time. Let me just do that for now. Boom, 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 boom. The hyperfine, yeah. Let me see. Just looking at the releases here. Let's see, PC, Windows, MSVC. Okay, it got a... Usually I don't download releases and run, but in this case, let's try it. So is there anything special? Let me just see. Hyperfine here. Usage, hyperfine, sleep, hack, stump, warm grab. User specific. Okay. I saw lots of stuff here, but not the... Is it just hyperfine? I can just shell. Yeah, sure. Oh, I'll try that. Boom, 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 boom. Does it not need any installation? Whoa, 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 whoa. That was too much. Let's see. Let's unpack it all. It's fine. Actually, I can just do it from the console here, probably. Boom, 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 boom. Just download one from an accident. Yeah, exactly. I checked out the repo. It looked somewhat okay. So it's let's see. Should probably need to find the path that it can run. So I can just do. I should probably go to the sudo bin release. I need to rebuild it first. Let's kill it, build, rebuild solution. Actually, it could have just been that single one. So now it should just, okay, that is fine. So now I can do block. I could do dot backslash AOC. Okay. Not sure if this is what you're looking for, Mate, but this is the time. I can dump it on Discord. We should probably look into what Amate does so that we have a comparable bench. This one was in like microseconds and nanoseconds, so. Yeah, hey Smap, welcome. Do you run benchmark.net, by the way, Smap? Yeah, so for everything like reading the file, processing it, and doing the answers. But that's probably because this one is not very efficient, optimized for speed at least. But I think the pure part 2 part will probably be fairly fast. But yeah, so you got back in time for the end again, Smap. Sorry. We have somebody here where it's already past 3 a.m. so it's hard to find time. Let's see. Martin says, "Well, not fair. I time the logic only. I don't time the file reading." Yeah, you have to show me what you use for your benchmarking and see if I can set that up as well and make sure that it's you have something to compare to. But this is nice to just get something out of the box. But it's probably like I could probably also just do. If I do it here, I can just do like stopwatch sv is new. Sv.start console. Right, come on, I can't type. Console.writeLine p1 sv.elapsed sv.reset, and then do part 2. Right, and a stopwatch is not the best performance counter, but right. So it's not that fast, but fast enough. So part 2 is less than twice as slow than as part 1. So. Yeah, but I'm sure it can be a whole lot faster if you start to optimize. But yeah, it's fine. Well, you say Smap says I didn't bother posting today as it was trivial. For a trivial day, I had a lot of issues, but that was because of my own stupidness. Like, I have this helper function that I really like the approach that I took. What I did for part 2 is basically once I remove one, and let me just bring up my amazing MS Paint skills again. Once I remove one, I update the counts for all adjacent ones and then remove the ones that fall below the threshold. So you get like a ripple effect and you only have one iteration. Yeah, I think I already used that last time. Stopwatch dot. If I in previous days I did that as well. Like stopwatch get timestamp and then and then we have get elapsed time. Yeah. So that's a lighter one, right? So you do var start is this, and then you do var p1 time is this, and then you do p2 time is this, and then you can do p1 is stopwatch at elapsed, and this one is start p1, and then you do the same here with p1 versus p2. like this. Smap says a massive helpers. A lot of my code was pre-written for previous grade. Yeah, that was my biggest issue. I was like, I've written so much of this stuff, I can dream it almost. And then I tried to use my previous helpers, and I just couldn't remember the way that I set it up. And I actually just wrote it out again. I copied this part, and then I wrote up the combinations of those. So I modified my enum to have the extra combinations there, and then I messed up the top left one. So the first one was bugged. So yeah, I had lots of struggles that didn't need to exist, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. The whole place is burning, but everything is fine. So let me see what Smap did. Yeah, no worries, Amate. Still, you were in what was it, nanosecond times? 40 milliseconds. So you're still twice as fast. But I haven't optimized it much. So I says written source generators to template my visualizer now, make it much cleaner. Okay. Let's see. 2D array. Sure. The thing that I do now is always usually sparse maps. So I wonder what I'm doing wrong to get the big times, and you have such instant fast times. Let's see. I guess stopwatch is broke. Yeah, who knows? Let's see. Got adjacent cell. Well, let's see. For each cell, where position value is paper roll and diagram. Okay, sure. Include diagonals. Yeah, that is something that I probably need to update. Surprised you don't have a variable or constant for the max load capacity of the or the minimum wiggle room or something for the threshold there. This is share. Let's see. Part 2. Then copy. Because you will update them here. Sure. Another copy of the whole thing. Okay. Let's see. Accessible diagram for each cell where position value is paper roll and adjacent roll. Sure. Okay, so this just recursively does it, or just keeps doing it again. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm a bit surprised that nobody else did like the ripple thing, but okay. I think that's everything for today, right? We should probably raid somebody. We had Plus Mid yesterday, and they came back with 12 people. So that's all. That's one of the things that I really like about streaming on Twitch, the way that you can just share the joy around and introduce people to new people. Yeah, no worries. Save it here. Thanks for sticking with me till 3:30 in the evening, in the night. I hope you had get some rest. It's nice to have you here, but I feel bad for keeping you up so late. Let's see who's doing Advent of Code. Let's see, AOC, that would be me. Like Dennis, it has one. Let's see. They have one viewer. And how long have they been streaming? For 5 minutes. Let's go say hi. I like sharing the spread around. So raid, like Dennis. let's go say hi to Dennis. So yeah, thanks everybody. I hope to see you tomorrow. The raid will happen in about a few seconds. So yeah, let's go say hi. Bye bye.